Hi, my name is Joe Robertson. I'm the Global Strategy Director for Citizens Climate Lobby and leader of the Pathway to Paris project. I wish I could be there with you today. I know some of the amazing young leaders that are in the room. And Miroslav, I want to thank you for inviting me to be part of this wonderful event and part of this team. I want to tell you a little bit about what Citizens Climate Lobby does. We're a nonprofit organization that works with groups of citizens to help them form small local teams so that they can become skilled policy advisors to their own elected officials. Over time, they build real working relationships with the people who represent them in government and make policy on their behalf. And they provide the kind of support that comes from a real conversation where they've listened to the people they're interacting with. They understand what kind of resources they need, what kind of information they need, what kind of support they need from the community, so that the people that we work with in our local chapters can make sure they're providing the information, the messaging, the education that is going to create a better policy environment. That way, everybody becomes part of one team. And instead of it being advocates telling government what to do, it's government seeking advice from those advocates, and those advocates representing the interests of the wider community through a process of engaged dialogue. In 2007, the organization was created with one local chapter with just 29 people. And now we have nearly 300 chapters of active volunteers on 5 continents, more than 15,000 registered supporters. We created the Pathway to Paris project because we wanted to give people around the world a way to have that kind of engagement in the global climate policy process. There are a lot of ways in which people can engage, and many of you are shining examples of how much can be accomplished by doing the hard work, coordinating with others, and making sure you're there to create a better policy environment. But for most people around the world, it's actually very difficult to directly access the climate negotiations. So through the Pathway to Paris project, we're holding open working sessions where we allow groups of citizens to get together. These people can be individuals, they can be from organizations, they can be public officials, they can be academics, they can be novices who have relatively little knowledge, or they can be experts who have a tremendous amount of precise and specific knowledge about the process. We get them together, and in these open working sessions, they talk about their values, their affinities, the kind of things they want to see come out of this process. And then they break into working groups. And in those working groups, they focus on how to solve certain policy obstacles. Now, a lot of the information they discuss might be known to some of you already. But what comes out of the dynamic of that conversation is new insight about how to solve some of those problems when they come up again. Our goal through this coordinating is to actually build a Paris priorities matrix, a document that tells us about a number of different issue areas so that those of us with a policy specialization can have real working knowledge, not deep expertise, but working knowledge of a number of different issues that our colleagues and partners are focusing on, so we can all become a better listening network to help produce a better outcome in Paris. Now, that organizing strategy is just the beginning, because what we're going to do during the Paris conference is stage a series of work streams. The work streams are going to actually share information between groups of collaborators and volunteers, some of whom will be inside the COP21, some of whom will be in Paris helping to manage these teams, and some of whom will be around the world. And these workstream teams will be working around the clock, collating information from our network of partners, from other organizations producing detailed reporting, to produce a day-to-day, highly digestible, useful, detailed visualization of the political landscape of the negotiations. And the goal there is to make sure that all of the people working with us are smarter and more effective about figuring out exactly where they need to be and who can help them produce the best outcome when they're setting up meetings, when they're looking to change the outcome of the overall negotiations. The goal is to raise ambition. And as we work to raise ambition, we're going to try to create something that's going to be a lasting part of the policy process, a citizens' climate engagement network that would be a way for people from around the world to engage directly in the global process, to support leaders like yourselves, and to be able to actually have some convening authority, some standing in the negotiations, so that it's not left only to political governments and their advisors to figure things out. By doing that, we can have more political will and a better environment for building future ambition, and making sure that what's established in Paris isn't the end of the road, but the beginning, that we move forward from there and end up with a much better, much more fruitful and sustainable future climate policy. Thank you all for being part of this. I welcome any sort of volunteering or support you could give us. Please do well in all of your endeavors, and I look forward to seeing you in Paris. Thank you.